Welcome, my dear companion. As the bustling, noisy echoes of a long day begin to recede into the background, it is time for you to return to your truest, most peaceful home. The space right here, right in this room, and right within your own breath. Allow yourself to let go of all worries, unfinished plans, and the lingering thoughts drifting through your mind. Right now, there is nothing you need to solve, nowhere you need to rush to. There is only safety, protection, and a space entirely dedicated to the most complete rest. In a life filled with constant change, there are times when our minds resemble a resilient traveler, steadfastly walking through the arid lands of pressure and responsibility. We tirelessly search for distant values, grand goals, yet sometimes forget that the greatest power to survive and heal begins with the simplest things. It is a peaceful breath, a sip of cool water, or a silent touch of understanding. Just like a peaceful oasis hidden deep beneath the burning sands of the desert, peace and the capacity for self-healing always exist within you, waiting for a moment when you choose to stop, relax, and listen. Tonight, we will embark together on a journey of resilience and gentle love, where the wild, scorching heat of the earth will be subdued by compassion and the deep bond of companionship. But before stepping into that space, let us give our bodies and minds a quiet moment to ground ourselves, to relax, and to welcome the soothing energy of sleep. Before we drift into this tranquil space together, if you love the peaceful moments this channel brings, please take a small moment to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like. Your silent companionship and support are the greatest motivation for this channel to continue its journey of nurturing good sleep and warming weary souls every night. Thank you very much. Now, choose the most comfortable and pleasant position on your familiar bed. You can lie on your back, with both arms resting naturally along your body, or turn to one side if that makes you feel more secure and relaxed. Readjust your pillow and your soft blanket so that your body is cradled in maximum warmth and coziness. Once you feel completely comfortable, gently close your eyes. No need to force them shut. Simply let your eyelids touch lightly, blocking out any remaining light in the room, opening up a peaceful space within your consciousness. Begin to direct your attention to your own breath. At this moment, you do not need to change or control your breathing pattern. No need to force a deep inhale or a long exhale. Simply observe the natural breath flowing in and out through your nostrils. Feel the cool, fresh air as you breathe in, bringing a sense of novelty and peace that spreads throughout your chest. And feel the warm stream of air as you gently breathe out, carrying away all the fatigue and tension accumulated in your muscles throughout the long day. Let your mind wander through each part of your body to feel the relaxation gradually spreading. Notice the crown of your head. Feel the muscles on your scalp releasing, growing lighter. That relaxation begins to flow down to your forehead, smoothing away the lines of deep thought. It continues to pass through your eyes, your eyelids becoming heavy, restful, completely free from any pressure. Relax your cheekbones, loosen your jaw, and let your lips part slightly into a very gentle smile. a smile of absolute freedom and contentment. The gentle flow of relaxation continues to move down to your neck and shoulders. Your shoulders, which usually carry so much daily pressure, are now sinking deep into the mattress, soft and weightless. Feel that release spread down both arms, through the elbows, wrists, and reaching the tip of each finger. Your fingers curl back naturally, completely relaxed, holding on to nothing at all. Now, bring your attention down to your chest and abdomen. Feel the rhythmic, steady rising and falling of your body with every breath. Like gentle ocean waves soothing the sandy shore at night, your breath is calming your entire nervous system, bringing a feeling of safety and absolute protection. The relaxation continues to flow along your spine, spreading to your entire back and hips, then sliding down your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and finally to your feet. The feet that have supported you through so many ups and downs today can now fully rest, releasing all pressure beneath the warm blanket. At this moment, your entire body, from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, is in the most serene, lightweight state. You feel your body gradually sinking deeper, connecting more closely with the bed, as soft as a cloud floating drifting through a quiet night sky. If any thoughts happen to arise in your mind, you do not need to chase them away or fight them. Let them appear like white clouds drifting across the sky, and then gently let them pass, returning your focus to the warm, safe feeling right here. The space around you now is so quiet, with only the gentle whisper of the night and the rhythmic breath of your own. You completely deserve this time, deserve to be loved, protected, and to drift into a very deep, peaceful sleep. Continue to maintain this wonderful state of relaxation, preparing your mind to step into a vast space where stories of life and tender love begin to be woven in the stillness of the earth. As your body sinks fully into the coziness of your warm bed, let your imagination gently open a doorway that guides you into a completely different world. A world that is vast, distant, where time seems to stand still and all things hold nothing but the primal breath of the earth. Your mind right now is like a gentle breeze, soaring high above geographical distances, leaving behind the busy high-rise buildings to arrive at a legendary land nestled deep within the heart of the Sahara Desert, the ancient volcanic region of Hoggar in the province of Tamanrasset. Picture yourself standing at the edge of an endless desert at the very moment the boundary between late night and the new day blurs. Right now, the thick darkness of the night still drapes over the sand dunes that stretch endlessly to the horizon. The space is so perfectly still that you can hear the fine, smooth grains of sand shifting slightly under the nudge of the final night breezes. The sky far above is a heavy tapestry of deep velvet blue-black, pinned with millions of stars sparkling like raw diamonds. The ancient constellations, the loyal guides of nomadic tribes for thousands of years, cast a soft silver glow, illuminating the barren yet deeply majestic earth below. Far away on the horizon, the bizarrely shaped stone towers of the ancient Hoggar volcanic range rise like dark, solemn, and mysterious fortress walls. These stone peaks have stood there for millions of years, bearing witness to generations of humans being born, growing up, and then blending back into the dust of the sands. They carry within them the breath of time, of ancient memories, and a powerful force of survival. At the foot of the mountains, giant sand dunes roll and curve softly like the magnificent silk ribbons of an invisible artist, presenting a gentle, poetic beauty, yet harboring the unpredictable harshness of the wild wilderness. The air at this moment is at its coolest state of a desert night. The temperature shift in this place is truly miraculous. Only a few hours ago, the scorching heat could melt away any willpower. But now, as the night falls, the cold below 10 degrees Celsius blankets the land, bringing a crisp yet incredibly pleasant sensation. Feel a cool breeze, carrying the scent of parched pebbles, the aroma of dry desert earth, and a trace of rare moisture seeping from deep within the ancient stone canyons. That breeze lightly brushes against your skin, caressing your face and sweeping away the last warmth of fatigue from your mind. In that vast expanse, an absolute silence reigns. There is no sound of machinery, no noise of the city, but there is only the low, steady cadence of nature. It is the sound of the wind whispering softly through narrow rock crevices, creating a wordless, melodious, and mystical melody. It is the sound of rare night dew gathering on the tiny, thorny leaves of wild desert bushes, then gently dissolving into the heart of the sand. This silence is not lonely at all. On the contrary, it brings you a sense of absolute safety, a magnificent embrace from Mother Earth, where you are allowed to become small and be sheltered in the arms of the vast universe. Far off, flickering between the stone towers and sand dunes, lies the home of the Tuareg people. The tents made of red-dyed goat hide or fabric woven from camel hair nestle against the cliff walls, like small yet proud punctuation marks of life amidst the wasteland. Here, life unfolds slowly, yielding to the harshest laws of nature. Humans learn to listen to the voice of the desert, learn to cherish every gust of wind, every patch of shade, and especially every precious drop of water, the thing considered the liquid of life, the soul of this entire arid land. Now, let your mind completely merge into this setting. You are no longer a detached observer, but have become a part of the quiet desert space. You feel the vastness of the earth, the resilience of all creation, and an invisible yet unbreakable bond between humans and nature. Breathe in deeply so that your chest fills with the fresh, cool air of the Sahara night, and breathe out very slowly to let go of everything that belongs to the noisy world outside. You are ready to witness, to feel, and to live alongside the story of the people here. A story of grand survival, of unwavering determination that never retreats, and of a silent love as warm as a fire sheltering the freezing desert winter nights. Let yourself float serenely within this space. listening to the slow heartbeat of the desert, and prepare to step into Ansar's journey under the approaching glow of the dawn. Part 3. The main story. The sun over the ancient volcanic mountains of Hoggar in Tamanrasset province does not wake up gently. It surges from behind the bizarrely shaped stone towers like a colossal sphere of fire, instantly pouring its blinding, scorching light down upon the dunes of the Sahara Desert. By just 9 o'clock in the morning, the temperature has already touched 45 degrees Celsius. The air is stiflingly hot, shimmering as if the rocks and earth themselves are breathing out smoke. This abrupt transition from the bone-chilling cold of the night to the sweltering heat of the day is a cruel trial that nature inflicts upon every living soul trying to find a way to survive on this land. The sand dunes, which just at dawn held a soft pink-orange hue, have now rapidly shifted to a brilliant, radiant gold, radiating a fierce heat, ready to burn any foot that touches them. In that blazing expanse, Ansar stands before the red-dyed goat hide tent of his family. He is carefully rewrapping his tagelmust, the 6-meter-long indigo cloth veil that completely covers his head and face, leaving only his deep eyes exposed. In this desert, the veil is not for adornment. It is a fragile shield preventing the baking heat from draining the last drop of moisture from the man's body, keeping his lips from cracking to the point of bleeding before the dry, parching winds. Every loop of the veil is a meticulous preparation, a sacred ritual of the Tuareg man before facing the wild wilderness. His eyes look through the opening of the indigo fabric, reflecting a world composed entirely of sand and stone. A world that, despite lacking a single green tree, is home, the place his ancestors have been bound to for generations. Ansar looks at the goat hide water skin hanging from the tent pole. It is deflated, dried out, and shriveled. The very last drop of water had been given to his mother the night before. A few paces away, his family's 5 camels are lying flat upon the sand, their eye sockets deeply sunken, their humps, once full and round, now sagging and withered from a long lack of water. They softly emit low, choked cries from their parched throats. These loyal creatures, once the most precious asset and the sole means of survival for his family, are now also reaching their end. Their silence beneath the glaring sun feels like a wordless yet aching plea, weighing heavily upon the shoulders of the young man. If water is not found, the lives of his entire family and their livestock will swiftly vanish beneath this merciless sun. His father, an experienced elder with skin stained a greenish gray from the indigo dye, murmurs weakly from inside the tent. Ansar, the Harmattan sandstorm 2 days ago has surely buried the ancient well in the western valley. If you do not find water today, the camels will not survive through tonight, nor will our family. The father's voice is frail, broken, carrying the profound anxiety of a man who has spent his entire life reading the desert but is now left helpless before the exhaustion of old age. He knows all too well the ruthlessness of the Harmattan, a storm carrying massive walls of sand, that can erase every trace of life and bury precious water sources in just a single night. Ansar tightens his leather belt, where 3 empty goat hide skins hang. His eyes look steadfastly toward the distant, towering canyons. "I will bring water back, Father. Our family and the livestock must live." The journey to find water begins when the sun reaches its zenith, casting the 50 degrees Celsius heat directly down upon the crown of his head. The surface of the sand is as scorching as glowing embers. Even though Ansar wears thick-soled leather boots, the heat still pierces through, burning every single step. The surrounding space is terrifyingly desolate. Not a bird flies, and not a single reptile dares to emerge upon the earth during this fiery hour. Every step Ansar takes sinks deep into the fine sand, and then he must use all his strength to lift his foot back up, causing his body's energy to deplete rapidly. The heat does not merely surround him, it seems to soak deep into every fiber of his flesh, every vein, trying to wring out the last bit of vitality from the lonely traveler. Ansar walks alone among the dry canyons that resemble the surface of Mars. Every breath inhaled feels like swallowing glowing red embers. His chest burns with pain. The lack of water begins to torture the 19-year-old's body. His brain buzzes, his ears ringing, with the sound of the wind howling through the rocky crevices. His throat is parched and stiff, to the point that when his teeth touch, they only make a dry, hollow, clicking sound. He wants to swallow a mouthful of saliva to soothe his burning thirst, but his salivary glands have dried up long ago. His body is sending out desperate distress signals, but his willpower forces his legs to keep moving forward. One canyon after another, one dune after another. The scenery repeats itself in a monotonous way, easily causing those who are not steadfast to fall into a state of panic and disorientation. "I must reach the ancient well before the sun sets," Ansar tells himself. His eyes stare intently at the shimmering glares in the distance, the desert mirages that deceive the vision of the poor pedestrian, painting false pictures of crystal-clear lakes. Those shimmering bands of light act like a spellbinding invitation, urging him to turn toward other paths. But, as a child of the Tuareg, he does not let himself be deceived. He follows the ancient stone towers, the familiar landmarks that his father taught him, the lessons from his youth about how to read the wind direction, how to recognize the shapes of solitary stone mountains, have now become a life-saving compass. He knows that haste and those mirages are the deadly traps that the desert always sets to swallow up light-headed travelers. After 4 hours of exhausting walking, Ansar finally reaches the western valley. His heart tightens as he beholds the sight before his eyes. The ancient well, the sole hope of his entire family, has been swallowed up by a colossal sand dune after the Harmattan storm. The 1,000-year-old mouth of the deep well is now nothing but a flat pit of sand. The ground around it holds no trace of life, only smooth ripples of sand that seem to mock human effort. At that moment, the world seems to collapse before the young man. The fragile hope appears, completely extinguished by the careless hand of nature. Ansar falls to his knees. Despair hits him like a splash of cold water. But looking at the 3 empty goat-hide skins, thinking of the weary eyes of his parents and the thirsty cries of the camels at home, he does not permit himself to give up. The image of his elderly mother trembling as she received the very last drop of water, the image of his father murmuring on his sickbed, and the loyal livestock on the brink of death appear vividly in his mind. If he gives up here, everything will end. The power of love and responsibility pushes the fatigue and despair out of his mind, making way for a fierce will to survive. He begins to dig the sand with his bare hands. Scrape, scrape, scrape. The dry sand rubs harshly against his skin. The sand on the surface is as hot as burning fire, blistering the 10 fingertips of Ansar. He bites his lip tightly beneath his veil, ignoring the pain, digging frantically. Desert sand possesses a very cruel trait. The moment you scoop out a handful, the surrounding sand slides right back down to fill it. It is like a liquid monster wanting to swallow human patience. Every handful of sand pushed out is immediately replaced by another amount pouring down from the walls of the pit. The task seems to become endless and hopeless, but the rhythm of Ansar's hands does not slow down at all. His hands move mechanically, rhythmically, yet containing an extraordinary strength born from the very end of the line. Water, there must be water, Ansar mumbles, his breath coming in short gasps. Sweat dries as soon as it pours out, evaporated by the fierce heat, leaving white salt streaks upon his blue Gandura robe. His fingers begin to bleed. The bright red drops, as soon as they fall onto the sand, are sucked dry by the heat, turning into dark, smudged spots. He switches to using a flat piece of limestone, frantically scooping out large chunks of sand, 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters. The pit deepens beneath the extreme effort of the human being. The sun begins to tilt into a golden orange hue, the shadows of the stone towers lengthening lazily across the wasteland, signaling the drawing close of the day. If night falls and the water source is still unfound, the cold of the desert will freeze his wounds and drain his remaining vitality. Late afternoon arrives. Ansar's strength has touched the bottom. His eyes blur, the surrounding stone towers seeming to spin. His knees tremble, the muscles in his arms so exhausted that they no longer have any feeling. Just when he thinks he will collapse and be buried by the sand, the stone piece in his hand strikes a hard, damp surface. It is the stone wall of the ancient well. Ansar feels as if he is infused with an invisible surge of life. He channels the very last bit of his remaining strength, scraping away the sand layer at the bottom of the pit. And then the dark gray color of moist earth appears, deep within the bottom of the ancient well, where the underground water veins from deep inside the Hoggar volcano seep out. There is a small pool of water, barely brushing the bottom of the well, muddy from the mixed sand. The drop of life is here. Ansar does not rush to drink. He knows the law of the desert. The hasty will pay with their lives. Drinking muddy and excessively cold water when the body is exhausted can lead to fatal stomach cramps. He removes the Tagelmus veil from his head, for the first time revealing his face beneath the twilight glow, a gaunt face, his lips cracked into deep fissures, but his eyes shining brilliantly. His gaze now holds no anxiety, but absolute reverence before the priceless gift that the desert has granted after so many trials. He takes a clean cloth from his pouch, places it over the muddy water to filter out the sand, and then uses a ladle made from a dried gourd to carefully scoop up the water bit by bit. Scooping up the first ladle, the water is murky and carries a faint scent of mud and earth. Ansar raises the ladle with both trembling hands, bringing it to his lips. Gulp! Gulp! The cool stream of water, carrying the astringent taste of the desert soil, passes through his throat, warming the parched passage wherever it goes. His body feels like a withered tree that has just received the first shower of the season. Every single cell seems to come back to life. He closes his eyes, savoring the gentleness of the water soaking into his stomach. A sensation of revival spreads from his fingertips to every vein in his body. Life has returned, powerful and intact. Having regained his strength, Ansar begins the most patient task, waiting for the groundwater to seep out further to fill the 3 goat hide skins. Every 15 minutes, the deep underground vein seeps out just enough for a small ladleful. The desert night falls very rapidly. The temperature plummets headlong, from 45 degrees Celsius down swiftly to below 10 degrees. A freezing, biting wind begins to blow through the canyon, cutting into the flesh of the young man who is currently drenched in sweat. Ansar rewraps his veil to stay warm. He sits curled up at the bottom of the ancient well, patiently, silently scooping up the water, bit by bit, beneath the desert moonlight, which shines as clear as silver. Every drop of water falling into the leather skin sounds a soft plop, plop, a promise of life that he is about to bring home. In the silence of the night, that sound echoes like a sacred melody, testifying to the victory of human will over adversity. By midnight, the 3 goat hide skins are full and round, heavy to the touch. Ansar tightly binds the mouth of the skins and shoulders them. The weight of the 3 water skins pulls his exhausted shoulders down, but his heart is lighter than ever before. The way home in the darkness is another challenge. The below 0 degrees Celsius cold of the Sahara night leaves Ansar's bleeding fingers numb and rigid. The loose Gandura robe, meant to dissipate heat during the day, is now insufficient to block the bone-chilling winds. He walks in the darkness, orienting his path by the glittering constellations in the deep sky. Every step is an extreme effort of the muscles, but the sound of water sloshing against his side is the sole motivation keeping his feet moving forward. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, the silhouettes of the familiar tents appear beneath the moonlight. The camels smell the moisture from afar. They simultaneously stand up, stretching their long necks toward Ansar, emitting joyful cries. Ansar enters his own tent first, setting 2 water skins down upon the camel hair rug. Trembling, he unties the mouth of the first skin, pours water into a clay bowl, and lifts his father's head up. "Father," The water is here. It is very sweet." The old man drinks in large gulps, the life-saving stream bringing the color back to his face. His mother wakes up as well. She receives the bowl of water, tears of happiness rolling down her wrinkled cheeks, falling to mix into the water in her hands. After his parents have drunk their fill, Ansar takes the remaining water outside the tent, pouring it into the small wooden trough. The camels plunge their heads in, drinking greedily. The sound of them gulping water echoes through the quiet night, sounding like the most wondrous melody of revival in the desert. When the family and livestock are temporarily cared for, Ansar looks down at the third water skin still intact upon his shoulder. Beneath the waning moon, he carries the water skin, taking slow steps toward the corner of the valley, where a lonely tent woven from ash-gray camel hair stands. That is Kella's tent. Her family consists of only a mother and daughter, with no strong man to go search for distant water sources. Kella is a quiet girl, but every time she passes by the small path of the tribe, she always stops for a few seconds, gently lifting a corner of her shawl, revealing her dark eyes looking at him with deep discretion and tenderness. Ansar knows that gaze. It is as warm as a fire, sheltering his heart through the freezing desert winter nights. Ansar stops before the tent entrance, gently tapping on the wooden pole. The tent curtain lifts, and Kella steps out. Her face is gaunt from fatigue and thirst, but when she sees Ansar standing there beneath the moon with the bulging goat-hide skin, her eyes suddenly light up. Ansar does not say much. He places the water skin down at her feet, his voice low through his veil. "The western ancient well has water again. I brought this portion for you and your mother. Please drink." Kella looks at the water skin, then looks up into Ansar's eyes, which are filled with fatigue yet overflowing with protective care. She gently reaches out her small hand, lightly touching the shoulder of his robe, which is soaked with salt from his sweat. A touch gentle, yet full of understanding and connection. In that moment, their love does not require vows of eternal devotion. The water skin passed from hand to hand amidst the barren desert is the most certain affirmation. They belong together. They are a pair, and they will walk together through all the harshness of life. Ansar walks back to his tent just as the sun of the new day begins to rise, painting the stone peaks of Hoggar in pink hues. He sits down upon the sand beside the now satisfied livestock, rewarding himself with the final sips of water remaining. The water now is crystal clear and cool. The desert can be harsh. It can strip away everything. But before the resilience of the Tuareg sun and their silent yet enduring love, the wasteland has had to yield life. Ansar half closes his weary eyes, his head resting against the body of the camel lying docilely beside him. Amidst the sound of the desert wind beginning to shift into the warmth of the new day, he falls into a deep, peaceful, warm, and dreamless sleep. The story of Ansar's journey to find water is a testament to the grand power of survival and the resilient love of a couple before the ruthlessness of nature. The climate may be arid, the water source may be buried beneath meters of hot sand, but when humans possess a grand enough reason, which is the life of their family and the silhouette of the one they love, they will find an infinite source of strength to surpass their own limits. True happiness amidst a harsh land does not lie in ornate things, but in silent protection, in a life-saving water skin, shared in a timely manner. No matter how arduous life may be, as long as humans always look toward one another, always remaining as a pair to warm each other's hearts, they will always find the green oasis of their lives right in the heart of the burning desert. As the final reflections on Ansar's journey gently draw to a close, the space around you seems to shift into a state of absolute quietude. The story of the burning desert, the ancient well, and the life-saving drops of water has now fulfilled its purpose. It has brought to your mind a beautiful testament to protection, the power of love, and the profound sense of safety found when human beings connect, walking hand in hand as a pair through life. Now, those vivid images begin to soften, fade, and seamlessly dissolve into the deep darkness enveloping your room. Feel the wondrous transition taking place at this very moment. The harsh, searing heat of the daytime desert has completely vanished, making way for the cool, soothing peace of a quiet hoeing-mac night, which mirrors the perfect comfort beneath your own soft blanket. The giant sand dunes and the towering stone peaks of the ancient Hoggar mountains in your mind are no longer sharp or defined. They are gently blurring, softening into graceful, floating waves that cradle your body. Every boundary between the world of the story and your reality seems to melt away, leaving behind only one single sensation: absolute peace, complete relaxation, and a deep, comforting certainty that you are fully protected and sheltered. The rhythm of the space is slowing down to its absolute minimum. The resilient footsteps of Ansar, the soft rustle of fine sand, the hollow sound of the gourd ladle, and the joyful gulping of the camels. All of these sounds grow quieter and quieter, drifting away into the distant expanse. They transform into an invisible whisper of the night, like a gentle breeze gliding through narrow rock crevices, melodious and steady. This sound no longer invites thought. Instead, it gently caresses your nervous system like a wordless lullaby from the universe, guiding your mind smoothly down into a state of half-awake, half-dreaming bliss. Every remaining thought in your mind is also undergoing a natural process of fading away. They are like fine grains of sand, carried off by the night wind, light, and leaving no trace behind. You no longer feel the need to hold on to any image or idea. Every memory of today, every plan for tomorrow, everything is blurring and dissolving into the dark, quiet space behind your tightly closed eyelids. You feel beautifully weightless, like a single feather drifting through the night sky, completely free and untethered. By now, your body and mind have fully synchronized with the slow, mystical heartbeat of the desert night. Life continues its gentle course through each of your soft, rhythmic breaths. But all pressure has ceased to exist. The connection between you and your warm bed is closer than ever. You feel yourself sinking deeper, melting into the softness of the mattress and pillows, safely cradled within a silken cocoon of absolute peace. There is nothing left to wait for, nothing left to listen to. Everything is fading, dimming, preparing to make way for a state of total stillness, as the deepest and most peaceful sleep draws very near. Now, the space around you has completely dissolved into absolute stillness. Every image, every sound from the mystical desert story or from the outer world has receded, vanishing entirely. Your mind right now is like the surface of a still lake, perfectly smooth, without a single ripple beneath the deep night sky. Only a beautiful, empty peace remains, a pure space of complete and utter rest. You are standing at the very threshold of a deep sleep, where your body and soul are healed, restored, and nourished by the gentlest energy of the universe. Allow yourself to surrender entirely to the embrace of sleep. There is no longer any resistance, no longer a single effort. Each of your breaths right now is like a soft ribbon of silk, gently flowing in and flowing out, carrying an absolute quietude that soaks into every cell, every vein, and every nerve fiber. Your entire body rests in the most profound state of relaxation, heavy yet weightless, as if merging into one with the warm bed, with the vast night. Safety and a sense of being sheltered wrap around you, warming you from within, helping you fully let go to drift deeper and even deeper into the tranquil realm of dreams. In this deep sleep, you will be carried to an oasis of peace, where there is no worry, no pressure, only absolute freedom and comfort. Let yourself submerge within that quiet expanse, letting time pass by silently. Tonight's sleep will be a wonderful journey of soothing comfort, bringing you freshness, abundant energy, and a clear spirit when the dawn of the new day awakens. You completely deserve this peace, deserve to have a good, whole sleep with no more disturbances or restless dreams. After you have experienced these restful moments and drifted into a peaceful sleep tonight, when you wake up tomorrow morning with a body full of energy, please do not forget to return to this video. Take a small moment to leave your feelings in the comments section, sharing with the channel the wonderful experiences of your sleep, or simply hit the subscribe button and share this story with your loved ones. Your interaction and companionship after every good night's sleep are the most precious gifts to the channel. But for now, continue to rest deeply. Let this final whisper grow quieter, gentler, and then fade away into complete silence. Only your soft, rhythmic breath remains amidst the warmth of the night. Every thought has vanished. Every sense has closed. Only the ultimate peace abides. Sleep deeply. Sleep well. Deep sleep. Deep sleep.